Welcome back, everyone. Another Talking Budget, and this time I'm joined with our city clerk, Carrie Enter. Carrie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, most people, see the clerk's office. They come there to get their licenses, their permits, or whatever it happens to be. But there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. Tell us a little bit about what the clerk's office does.
Sure. We do all the agendas, agenda packets and minutes for the Common Council meetings, as well as public policy and general government, redistricting committee, board of review, and canvassing committee as well.
Wow, that's a lot. And I know you also handle a lot of the licensing and permits, so special events and things like that, right?
Right. Special events. All licenses are issued through our office with the exception of dog and cat licenses, which are issued by the treasurer's office, and there are quite a few. We issue all the, beer, liquor licenses, convenience stores, the operators. There's numerous licenses that are issued through our office.
Taxi cabs and the special events. I mean, if you're going to have a festival or a parade or something in the city, they go through your office.
Correct, yes.
So you handle a lot of the administrative duties for the city, really, with the minutes and attending the meetings, to get attendance and that sort of thing, all of the licensing, but you also handle elections. Elections is a big part of what you do.
Yes, it is. We, totally administer the elections, starting from voter registrations. We manage, there's probably about 15 to 16,000 registered voters, so we manage all those, process all the absentee ballot requests, and then we prepare the poll workers on election day with all the materials, oversee the polling sites, which there are 11 in the city of Stevens Point.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. So I know that we solicit poll workers because that's not done by our regular staff. These are specially trained people who work specifically on elections. If someone wants to be a poll worker, what's the process? Who do they contact and how do they get trained?
Sure, they can contact our office, city clerk's office. It's a 2-year term for poll workers. As a matter of fact, we're going to be reappointing end of this year. We're always looking for others to step up and be a poll worker. Okay. But they can contact city clerk's office. There's just a simple application to fill out.
Okay, and there is some training involved.
Yes.
What is that about?
Before each election, I do some training. There are chief inspectors which have a little bit more detailed of training, but prior to each election, each poll worker is given some training, and it's usually conducted by myself.
Okay, and you handle a lot of the mailings for the city as well, right?
Correct. All the mail, we process the incoming mail. All the outgoing mail is processed through the clerk's office.
Okay, and how many people do you have in your office?
There are 3 of us.
3 of you full-time.
Full-time.
But then during special occasions, elections being the big one, you have some additional help that comes in.
Yes, we'll get some temporary help in for the busy times.
Okay. Is there anything, what do you say the biggest part of your budget is, other than, of course, salaries and benefits, which is the biggest for every department?
Right.
Where does some of that taxpayer money go when it goes to your department?
Biggest portion is paying the poll workers. That's and then of course the election expenses along with that. Another big portion is postage, simply because we are processing all the city's mail. So that's a huge budget.
Yeah, there's not a lot of wiggle room there, is there?
No, there is not.
And the elections, that can vary. You can have a really small election with something, maybe one item on the ballot, all the way up to the presidential elections, which can be massive because of the number of people that turn out. There are a lot of ways that people can vote, and we've been working very hard to make it as convenient as possible for citizens to vote. What are some of the voting options that they have through your office?
Sure, they can vote through the mail. They request a ballot, we'll send it out in the mail. We have also early voting hours where they can come in the clerk's office, or sometimes we have alternative sites as well. At the police department community room at the 933 Michigan, we use that as well. City Hall, they can vote in person prior to the election, or of course on election day they would go to their polling location.
Okay, and we also have the drop boxes that we
Correct.
installed in conjunction with the university. One's in front of the Dreyfus University Center. These are only up during election times.
Correct.
And then one's right out in front of City Hall. So if you can't make it during normal business hours or even the extended business hours that you offer during elections, you still have the ability to safely and securely deposit your ballot to make sure it gets counted.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah. Well, so there are a lot of things that the clerk's office does that the general public doesn't normally see. And I hope this shed a little bit of light on some of the functions that Carrie's office does and her staff there. So if you need a license for a taxi cab or a bartender's license, or maybe you're having a special event, stop by and say hi to Carrie and thank her and her staff for the service that they provide. Until next time, I'm Mayor Mike.